For this afternoon and tonight, a significant winter storm, including heavy snow and blowing and freezing snow.
Hello and welcome to the SnowBrains podcast, where it's my job to interview the most interesting people in the snow sports industry and pass their fascinating knowledge on to you, our listeners. I'm your host, Miles Clark. I'm a professional free skier, a mountain guide, an Alaska heli ski guide, a UC Berkeley molecular cell biology graduate, the founder and CEO of SnowBrains, and I just made it up to Vallées, Alaska for my 5th season here as a heli ski guide and my 18th spring skiing here in Alaska. I first discovered Alaska back in 2006 when I guided glacier tours, ice climbing, and tours of the Kennecott Mill, one of the tallest wooden structures in the world at 15 stories tall, all in McCarthy, Alaska. I've already gotten in 2 heli ski days this season in massive terrain, reminding me just how special this place is and how it very well may be the best ski terrain on earth. Crazy to think that I've been coming up here for 20 years. My guest today is Olivier Fremond, Head of Operations and Development at Les Trois Vallées, the largest ski resort on earth located in France. And when we say large, we're not talking big, we're talking absurdly massive. The Trois Vallées spans over 600 kilometers of trails, roughly 25,000 skiable acres, more than 160 lifts, and it connects legendary destinations like Courchevel, Meribel, and Val Thorens in one seamless ski experience. This is a place where you can ski all day, rack up thousands of vertical feet, cross multiple valleys, and still not even come close to seeing it all. Believe me, I've experienced it firsthand. So today we're diving deep into the numbers, the infrastructure, the logistics, and what it actually takes to operate the biggest ski resort in the world. How do you manage something this absurdly large? How do you move that many people that efficiently across that much terrain? What does the future look like for a resort operating at this scale? Hello, Olivier. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hello, Miles. I'm doing great. I hope you do too. And thanks for hosting me.
We're honored to have you, man. Thank you for being here. When did you ski last?
Last Saturday with my son.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's 4 years old, so yeah, he's just learning the ropes. And I'm happy because now he can turn, so that changed a lot of things. Soon I will be able to go further down the mountain with him.
Nice, because I know at first they just go straight. It's hilarious. How many days have you skied this winter?
Almost every weekend already. Probably good. 15 days, yeah.
That's great.
I'm lucky enough, I live close to the mountain, so I can ski for myself, mostly with my kids. Actually, what I do is I put him at the ski school, so he gets the right lesson from the good teachers, like ESF, and then I go ski myself, then I pick him up, we ski a little bit, so he's always so excited to ski with his dad, and also ski for work, which is pretty good as well.
That's not so bad, it could be worse.
Yeah, that could be worse.
Nice. Well, Olivier, today I'm really excited to learn everything I can about the largest ski resort in the world, Les Trois Vallées in France. Yeah. So let's start. Tell us who you are and what your role is at Les Trois Vallées.
Okay, so before I tell you who I am, I'm going to tell you who I work for because it's a bit specific. As you said, we are the largest ski area in the world. So we actually have a lot of operators. It's a bit different in France than it is compared to the US. So there's a structure which I work for, which is called, it's an association, like non-profit, and we are financed by all these parties to promote ski area and the mountain, actually, also because we do summer as well, in France and abroad. So I work for this little structure. So there's only 12 of us in that specific structure. And there I would be like the deputy director, basically.
Very cool, man. I should say for our listeners, Les Trois Vallées means the 3 valleys.
Valleys, exactly.
3 massive valleys. So it's good that folks know what we're talking about. So people who have never been there, what is Les Trois Vallées?
Again, that's basically our baseline, the world's largest ski area. But that doesn't tell you much. I would say it's say it like that. It's a promise. Like, no, it's so large that it means a lot of options. It's pretty high, so you get a lot of good snow. And it's convenient to go, so snow size convenience basically. We are pretty close from airports, so for you guys in America, it's really easy to come. On a more personal point of view, it's like where I learned to ski actually. I'm lucky.
Really?
Well, to be very technical, the 2 first days of skiing in my life, I started skiing when I was 20, so pretty late. Small resort in Les Vosges, small mountains in France. And then my friends, and I have a friend who was a really good skier, immediately brought me to Val Thorens because I was really into it. I didn't know how lucky I was by then to start skiing in such a great ski area because it seemed a bit, I thought it would be difficult, but it was great. So it's like my home resort, basically.
You grew up there. I love that. That's very, very cool, man. It's such a special place. I got to go there for about 9 days this winter. So as we go through all this, I'll share some of my experiences because it literally blew my mind. I just couldn't believe how big. I remember I got up high on the first day in Courchevel, and I looked across all the valleys on a clear day where I could see so far. It was insanely far away, and I could see chairlifts. I was like, oh my God, there's chairlifts over there too. I was like, wow, that's part of this ski resort. That must be the very end. And then I learned the next day that wasn't. That was just the end of Meribel. And then there's the whole other valley that you're talking about, Val Thorens, and then there's a valley past that. So it's hard to, especially for American or North American skiers and snowboarders, it is hard to even understand. How many days do you think it would take a person to ski all of it? Maybe to ride all of the lifts?
Well, if you want to do all 161 of them, because that's how many there are. I don't know, if you're a good skier, you can probably do that in a week, honestly. Like it's
still take 7 days.
You're gonna have to ski fast, and then it's gonna require a bit of planning because you're like want to do something very specific. But good skier in a week, you can do it. If you don't, just come back next year.
Yeah, if you're super focused, you could do it in a week, maybe.
Yeah.
So, and what kind of terrain? And I could speak to this too. What kind of terrain does the Trois Vallées have?
It's different than in the US. I don't have much experience in the US. I never skied on the East Coast. I have all the cliche, the ice and everything, small mountains. It's
the
fine.
Ice Coast.
It's like it makes some rough skier, right? But I skied only once, in Palisade when it had its previous name, and so that's a better comparison. But we're like deep inside the French Alps, so you are skiing on very high mountain. 80% of the ski area is basically above 5,900 feet, so that's really high already. So you go high, and you are in, as I said, in the middle of the French Alps, so you described it yourself, that large overview on all the French Alps, on the rest of the Vallées, but all the Alps around, you can see the Mont Blanc from there. So it's a whole different experience. Even if you were to go somewhere else, I mean, the closest would be probably Switzerland. I mean, in terms of feeling, even Austria is a bit different to me. Lower, not the same kind of mountains. So yeah, that's quite something.
And then I'll just describe it from my perspective, from what I saw there. So, and I only saw Courchevel and Meribel. I never even made it to Val Thorens or Orel. So what I saw is I was at Courchevel, and just Courchevel was enormous. It has huge alpine terrain, big couloirs, massive cliffs up high. And then in the middle is like this really nice, friendly terrain that's more family friendly, has a lot of great intermediate groomers and things like that. And then down low, there was even some good tree skiing. So, and then I bumped over, so I think I'll say it wrong, but the Salier, the Solier tram. And I took that up to the top and was skiing off that. And then that's where, from the top, you can see way across and see the opposite side of Meribel. And that is mind-bendingly, that next valley, the Meribel Valley, is so big and it's so huge. There's so many lifts going all over the place. There's something like over 20 peaks, I think, in the Les Trois Vallées.
Total official figure is 25. That's really interesting.
25.
Yeah,
that's
25.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So 25 peaks. So you're looking up, there's just peaks and tracks. and ski areas everywhere. And if you're an off-piste type of skier and you have avalanche training, the sort of backcountry skiing or the off-piste skiing that you folks have is absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's huge and it's endless, and there's more powder than can be possibly skied. And so that's what we experienced, was like there was just always more. And so I could go on, but let's jump into the numbers, because I think it's already so interesting. There's 161 lifts.
Yeah.
And this is all in one interconnected ski area. You never have to take your skis off.
You actually don't.
Yeah, and so I know you guys don't usually use this, but for North Americans, do you know what the total skiable acres are?
Yeah, I do. It's like almost 25,000 acres. Okay. Actually, I'm the one who goes to the US to make the promotion, so I'm okay with the figures. But I like
you know how to speak to us.
Yeah, I mean, I like to make the comparison between your 4 largest ski areas on your side, which, if I'm correct, I'm gonna take my cheat sheet just to be sure. Sorry, give me a sec. Like, so Park City, Palisade, Big Sky, and Aspen, like the 4 largest. You bring those 4 together, and that's 25,000 acres. So it's like you're just picking those 4, put them next to each other, and that's us, basically. So it's hard to grasp how large it is.
It is, and I think that's harder for people. I think what I would use is it's Jackson Hole's 2,500 acres, and so I think an easier way for Americans to understand it is it's 10 Jackson Holes. That's insane. Because saying those other 4 together, like none of us know exactly how big those are, but most of us have an idea that Jackson Hole is big and badass, and you don't mess with it, right? Jackson Hole is insane, and so it's Jackson Hole times 10. It's 10 Jackson Holes. I mean, I'm just imagining right now, because I was just there. If there was 10 Jackson Holes across the Teton Range, I mean, that would be almost the whole mountain range. It feels like that is just nuts. So I think that really helps people, at least helps me get a grasp of it, or at least just understand how mind-blowing it is, that it's bigger than you can possibly fathom, and you've just got to go to see it. But we'll get into that more. So that's the skiable acres, which is insane. I love that. 10 Jackson Holes. How about the kilometers of piste? And then we'll try to translate this to miles.
Well, that's 600 kilometers of piste. So to
miles.
And
I just did this. So that's 372 miles of trails, I think is the way we'd say it. So if you wanted to ski all the trails, in your week that you were there, you'd have to downhill ski 372 miles, which is also out of this world. How many trails? How many pistes? Total pistes?
334.
Whoa! So you got 334. Yeah, 334 separate runs, and these are mostly like groomed runs. Sometimes they're not. That's amazing. And you guys have 4 qualifications. So I think you have green, blue, red, and then black.
And black.
So we don't have red. So red is sort of your advanced intermediate or
I think red is your black, and black is your double black or double diamond sort of.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, good. I didn't realize that.
That would be the comparison for me. We're gonna ask about the verts, like
the vertical drop. Yeah. What's your vertical drop, and maybe the highest and lowest points?
Between the highest and lowest point, which actually you cannot do that in one go, but like if I take that, nonetheless, that would be 7,000 feet.
Wow.
And the one you can ski up and down actually is like 5,400 feet in Courchevel.
Wow. You actually can ski 5,400 feet in one run.
So it's a little bit less than Revelstoke, I guess. But I actually don't know in Revelstoke if you can ski their official number down in one go.
You can, but it's quite low. Sometimes that very lowest little bit doesn't have snow, depending on the time of year, and that could happen anywhere. But that's amazing. 5,400. I mean, for Americans, 3,000 feet is a lot. So to think that you can have a 5,400 vertical foot run in one go is pretty amazing for us.
Yeah,
the terrain is so good.
A long time ago, I had an American girlfriend, and she came to ski in Les Trois Vallées. And I think one of the first things she told me is like, is this slope ever gonna end?
Yeah.
It was so long for her. She couldn't believe it. It's like, wow, I'm not used to that. She was coming from Boston, so...
What kept happening to me, even if I started right at 9 a.m. when the lifts open, is I would get a little bit lost in the experience. I would be having so much fun. Oh my gosh, what's over there? What's over there? And so I'd continue trying new things and going new places. Then maybe I'd find something I like and I'm doing laps and having a really good time. And then it would start to get late and I'd realize, oh, I should probably think about getting back to where I'm staying or where my car is or where I started. And I would, sometimes start as, because I think the lifts are usually open till 4:30 there. And so sometimes I'd get started by like 3 and I'd barely make it back. It would take, and so what happened to me too is I'd be really tired and be like, all right, I'm done skiing now. But then I still had an hour just to get back to where I started because it's so big. We're not used to that. When we're done skiing in America, we just ski down to the car. And that's it. Almost from anywhere, most everywhere on every ski resort in North America, you can just ski back to your car. But not there, man. It's like 4 or 5, 6 lifts to get back home. So I think that helps give people a little perspective too. Yeah. So we talked about the total lifts, 334 trails. That's amazing. 161 lifts. Do you know what your uphill capacity is? So if that's a tough number because you have so many lifts.
Yeah. There's so many lifts, and actually I could find it, but on top of my head, I don't know it. I couldn't provide it. I can give you something. I don't know if it helps, but 2-3 years ago, I looked what was the peak number of skier on the ski area on the same day. So maybe not at the same time, but on the same day. And it was 90,000 person who skied on the same day.
Oh my gosh. In the US, like at Palisades Tahoe, I bet 10,000 is a big day. So continue.
Yeah, and I will say, that seems like a lot probably when I say it like that, and it only happens a few times a year, usually during the winter holidays in February. But I don't want to scare people. It's busy, yes, of course, but it's so wide, so many runs, like the people are spreading, and actually during the day it's not unbearable even on the busiest day. So we have a strong uplift capacity.
And this is AI, so take this with a grain of salt. But AI thinks from the calculations of all the lifts that it could be as high as 284,000 skiers per hour. So you can imagine if there was 90,000 people, maybe that's not such a big deal. But again, this is AI, so who knows? But what I do want to say is that I was there during the busiest week of the year in February, and it was fine because what Europe has that we don't have in the US is the infrastructure is out of this world. The gondolas, the lifts, everything. I'm curious if you know this, almost every lift was a high-speed 6-pack. I'm wondering how many chairs are less than a 6-pack. I don't think it's very many.
There's not much left, yeah. If there would be like 10, that would be the max.
10 out of 161.
Yeah, probably. Most of them are like 6 chair or gondolas now. 4 is getting pretty rare, and that we don't have anymore. So yeah.
How often are you replacing chairlifts? You must just have been taking the 4s out and putting 6s in at a rapid pace the past decade.
Like, I would say 3 to 4 each year. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
We have technically 5 lift operators in Les Trois Vallées, realistically 4 because the 5th one is in Orel and it's a daughter company, I don't know if it's the correct term, to the one in Val Thorens. So you have those 4 operators with their own part of the ski area. So yeah, it's like reasonable to say like each of them change 1 lift each year basically.
That's amazing. So for our listeners, the uphill capacity is insane. The infrastructure is out of this world. And the amount of time that you save because the infrastructure is so good is incredible because you're just really efficiently getting from place to place to place. Essentially, every single chair is a high-speed 6-pack or a tram or a gondola. So these all fit just a lot of people. They move people really quickly, really efficiently. Everything's high speed. So we'll just kind of come back to all the numbers here to put them in one place. So about 25,000 skiable acres. Something like 372 miles of trails, 334 trails, 161 lifts. And again, less than 10% of these are not high-speed 6 or gondola or tram. That's incredible. Do you know how many hotel beds are in the area?
I do. And I just want to add a little something about the figures, and then I'm going to answer to that.
Oh, and we forgot 5,400 vertical feet of skiing.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, about the number of slopes, like what we say basically is like it's huge. It can be scary. So I can't. No, but really, like, I mean, if you are used to something different and you're like, oh, okay, what about my kids and everything?
Right.
I mean, I can promise you, like, you can actually cross the entire three valleys on blue slopes. And I'm going to give you the number because I have it here.
Oh, please.
Among those 334 slopes, 142 are blue, 54 of them are green. So that's a lot. Like, that's more than half, which are beginner friendly.
And that's from my experience too, is when I was there, seemed like there was always a blue trail off of every chairlift. No matter how big and scary the chairs seemed to be, getting you to the very top of the mountain, they always had put in a nice trail that maybe wound down the mountainside. And it did feel like that. And it was really cool. You can get from one side of the resort to the other in one day. And back probably if you did it just right. So pretty incredible. As we're saying here, the infrastructure is just out of this world. You are just boom, boom. You're moving very quickly. You're getting where you want to go. And I forgot to ask, this is not even in my notes, how many restaurants do you think are on the mountain?
On the mountain, I think 54.
Whoa.
Wait, actually, I have the precise answer to that. 56.
Wow. 56. And I would say that it's affordable. The food is very high end. Every restaurant is totally different. They have a lot of flavor. They are often families who've been running it for generations. And so it's really a great experience. Some people take it seriously. I think during busy times, you have to get reservations if you want to go to the fancier restaurants.
I do myself. I mean,
exactly.
I'm 43. Like, I mean, the restaurant is part of the ski day now, right?
Absolutely. Well, we find that with the French and the Italians, a lot of the focus of your ski day is to go get food. And so it's because the restaurants are high quality. I've been in places in Italy, like in the Monte Rosa Valley in Alagna, where they say the best pasta restaurant is way up on the mountain. And it's this crazy old kind of shack, and it's hard to get to, and it just makes it such a cool experience. So many people. Yeah. Mange is so important in France and Italy and in the Alps. So people are getting up there. But before I forget, how many hotel beds do you think you folks have?
So 140,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's the number I saw too. So they can sleep 140,000 people at that place. And so I like that too, because I really appreciate you sharing the 90,000 people in one day. American ski resorts would never share that, because even as a marketing person, I try to get those kind of numbers to understand, and they won't share that stuff. So I really love the French honesty here. You can imagine if the busiest day of the year is 90,000, they have 140,000 beds. So I really love that, because those people are bringing their families. There might be lots of people who don't ski. And I did want to tap on that. If somebody doesn't want to ski, or they're tired, or they're not a skier, what are some fun other activities that you can do in this area that are nearby, or maybe even on the mountain? Because I know you have sometimes like zip lines and sledding and other things.
It's funny you ask that, because 4 years ago, we decided to add another claim on top of the world largest ski area. It was infinite mountain experiences. And because we also want to promise that, because that's what we offer. I don't know, I'm going to try to pick one of the craziest for you as an example. You can actually do diving under the ice.
What?
Yeah, because there's like this lake, which is called Lac du Loup, between Val Thorens and Les. And they basically dig 2 holes in the ice, and you get one of those little diving suits, so you're not freezing to death, and you go under from one hole to the other. So it's one of the things you can do. Yeah, this one is out of the ordinary, so I like to mention it.
But that's really cool to know. What a cool experience.
You can do ice climbing, on those cascades. You can, of course, do dog sleighing, ski joring, I don't know, anything basically. We have a strong focus in France on wellness as well. In every resort and a lot of hotels, you are going to get those spas and wellness centers. Food is part of the activities in France as well. One of the things I like to do is sleighing. I don't know the correct pronunciation. We have those really long slopes, and in Val Thorens, there's one which is 4 kilometers long. I think the one in Les is probably 3 kilometers long. So it's really long. It's really fun. You can go actually pretty fast on your legs, so be a bit careful. But that's really fun to do with friends.
Yeah, and I've seen it. They basically put you on a little sled, and there's walls, and you're kind of like in a bowling out.
Yeah, it's like
and you're just going down.
Snow walls.
Yeah, snow walls. Yeah, exactly. And you're just ripping down the mountain. You see people zip by. It's really cool. They have a whole area and a few different areas that you can do that. And then, like you said, the dog sledding, obviously cross-country skiing. I saw people riding horses. So yeah, all kinds of other things to do if skiing's not your thing. Or what's really going on is somebody's listening to this and they're thinking, oh, my wife or husband doesn't ski. I can still bring them because there's so much other cool stuff to do in this area.
Nordic skiing as well is an option, especially you were in Courchevel, a really good, great spot to do that. Meribel as well. Snowshoes, anything you can imagine, basically.
And I love that. And there's guides and all kinds of stuff to do all this kind of stuff. So you mentioned Courchevel, and I want to start there because I think there's a lot of flavor in the three valleys. Each valley has its own flavor. So what is Courchevel like, and what is it known for?
So, I mean, Courchevel is probably the most well-known resort in the US. It's not the oldest resort in Les Vallées, but we could discuss like the history if you want at some point.
Yes.
So Courchevel, it's about excellency. It's like probably our most expensive resort, even if you can find some more affordable option in Latania, for instance, which is part of Courchevel. But it's known for that. Like, I mean, a lot of famous people go there. You ski there, and I think, did you ski on that green slope which goes in between all those very nice and luxurious chalets or not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say towards refined excellence, basically. Like it's super high end. Basically, it's our Aspen.
Yes, exactly. And so Aspen is known for fur boots. So the women in Aspen, they come from these wealthy families, and they have fur boots. So as Americans, I think a lot of us judge a ski location on how many fur boots you see, specifically on women. And when I was in Courchevel, the women had fur boots. They had a lot of fur jackets. I saw little girls in fur jackets, fur hats. And then what blew my mind in Courchevel is I saw a woman with a fur bag. So they take it to the next level, and so
everything can be made of fur. Yeah,
I'd never seen a bag made of fur. So the level of fur in Courchevel, I would say, is 10 out of 10.
Okay, that's funny you mentioned that. It's actually not at all related, but like one of my secret indicator related to fur boots is like if you want to know if a restaurant is good on a mountain in France, look at the number of red jackets. Because this is the instructor from ESF.
And tell us what ESF is real quick.
It's like the historic French ski school, École du Ski Français. You're going to find those guys everywhere in France. In every resort, there's this school. We can find other schools as well, but it's the most famous one, the historic one. And those guys, they are both ski instructors and ski guides as well. So, skiing very well, of course. And in France, it's like you cannot become a ski instructor like that. The exam is extremely difficult. Basically, you have almost professional ski level when you are a ski instructor. You also have to know skiing and snowboarding. You need to be proficient at both. Yeah.
Wow.
But since they are guides as well, they know the mountain and its restaurant very well. So they always pick the best restaurants, or at least best and compared to price as well. So if you see a lot of guy in a red jacket, that's probably a very good restaurant.
I love that. I'm going to remember that too, because you see those folks. And as he said, it being a ski instructor at the École du Ski Français is a much different thing than being a ski instructor in the U.S. The ski instructor in the U.S., obviously, level 3 is very impressive. But they go to another level. I think they have avalanche training and a lot of other things that can take people off piste. And I think they can do everything except for like above 10,000 feet on glaciers or something like that.
Yes, and it's called what we call haute montagne. Like a high mountain.
High mountain. And
it's a different diploma, that's true. Very good that you know that. And I'm gonna be honest, if you come from the US and it's your first time in Les Vallées, I would definitely get one of those guys to bring you to the best places, find the best snow or the snow that you want and like. Especially if you want to go off piste, they know the right spots, they're gonna help you make all that safe. So very good recommendation. Do that because it's much less expensive than it is in the US. I mean, price for a day in the US, I heard that sometimes it could be $1,000 per day.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
You're correct.
I mean, that's probably what you're going to pay for the week.
Yeah.
With a French instructor. So the benefit compared to the cost is it's a no-brainer to do that.
That's actually a great recommendation. So we definitely highly recommend getting a ski instructor for your first day or two, or the whole time you're there, because you're just going to nail it. You're going to nail it on where to be, when to be there to get the best snow, the best experiences, the best restaurants. And these guys and gals are all super cool. They obviously speak French and English, so you're going to get more local flavor. They're going to maybe introduce you to interesting people and just be able to answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, you're flying a little bit more blind, which can be fun too, but highly recommended to get one of these folks for at least the first day. All right, so we're going to cover the 3 valleys. So that's Courchevel. And then the second valley I want to talk about is Meribel. So what's Meribel like, and what is it known for?
2 words for Meribel, because I like this exercise. Alpine elegance. Similar mood to Courchevel in terms of architectures. More alpine town with chalet and everything. Not big concrete buildings or anything, not many of them at least. It's like the whole valley. So I'm going to mention another town which is in the Meribel. You have the main part of Meribel, which is actually in 2 parts because it's so big, like the Meribel downtown and Meribel Motaret. Very good spot, Meribel Motaret, if you're an American and want to explore the Vallées. And why? Because it's like very central. From Meribel Motaret, you can go in any direction. You're going to end up somewhere else in the Vallées. So it's very central to explore. Most of the accommodation are ski in and out, very good. But going back to the villages, if you are on a budget, and we have a lot of American ski club who go there, you can also go to Brie-les-Bains, which is down the valley. So you cannot ski down.
Brie-les-Bains is all the way down in the Green Valley. It's like below snow line a lot of times.
So you take the lift, like 25 minutes up, brings you to central Meribel, and then you're set for the Vallées. The lift starts earlier in the day, so you're not losing any ski time. And it's very affordable there, so very good recommendation if you're on a budget but want to experience our ski area.
That's where I'm going to live when I move to France.
Yeah. Fun factor, this is like the second youngest ski resort technically in France, Brie-les-Bains, because it was created it was linked to the ski area for the Winter Olympics in Albertville in 1992. That's it. And the youngest one is Orel on the other side, but we're going to probably come to that after.
We have to talk about it. So so Meribel to me felt like the heart of, and I think they call it that, right?
They call it that, exactly, the heart of the Vallées.
Because it's in the middle and kind of everything connects there. You could even get buses to get to other places. And that Brie-les-Bains, that lift that goes way down to the Green Valley comes up there. There's so much interconnectedness there. It feels like you can get almost anywhere starting from there. The downtown part of it, I think the center, you folks call it, has so much going on. It's a big party. There's so much happening there. It's really the hub. And I ended up spending a lot of time because I stayed in the Meribel village, which has a great boulangerie, has a really great bakery. It's really nice ladies. They made my day every time I went in there. In addition to, if we're not making it clear, in addition to this massive badass ski resort with so much going on, so many lifts, the charm and the architecture and the people and the food is all, the cultural experience is just 10 out of 10. It's such a great experience. I had so much fun practicing French and trying to learn new things from people every single day. But Meribel felt like the real hub. And it just gets massive. It kind of starts in the middle of that center, and it just expands kind of like a huge clamshell, and it just goes to so many peaks and so many places. And you could just spend a week in Meribel and probably have a hard time skiing all of that, honestly, is the way it felt. And then
and the way the valley is, it's like basically you're inside a full valley. Like Les Vallées is basically 3 parallel valleys, but Meribel is a central one. And the way it's done, it's like a circus pointing north. It makes it so that you can always ski in the sun, because you start in the morning and you go on one side, on the sunny side, and then you explore. And as I say, in a full day, you won't be able to even do everything. You just evolve around the valley, finding the best spot and the best snow.
I mean, that's how it felt to me, too. I agree. And I did want to make a small note here because so much, I don't know, what do you think? Something like 75% or more of this Les Trois Vallées is above the tree line. So it's just
80% actually.
80. Okay, so it's just big alpine terrain. So I was there during a really stormy period, supposedly the biggest storm cycle they've had since 1999 when I was there this year.
Yeah, that's true. If you were in February, we had a strong storm,
It was crazy. And so there are lifts that have great tree skiing. So this is for our powder hounds out there. I just want to say, and I'm going to say these wrong. So Lowe's.
Yeah, that was a top recommendation for that. Yeah.
Really great tree skiing. I mean, just out of this world. And again, let's talk about this real quick, just in this vein. And so we're doing a little tangent here, is once you step off the piste, the marked runs, you're in the backcountry, is my understanding. Yeah. And so you need to, as soon as you step off of a run, the off piste is considered backcountry. You need to have beacon, probe, shovel, experience, partners, everything. Yeah. And if you're not comfortable in that exactly, then you need to get the instructor or you need to hire a guide because they can get you through these places safely. So just the quick warning, because Americans don't always understand that. Our off-piste is still avalanche controlled, and it's not that way in France.
No, it's not.
So Lowe's, incredible terrain. And then I know I'm going to butcher this one, but the other one just on the other side of Lowe's, Du Delanche.
Yeah, you said it pretty well, actually.
Close? Okay. Du Delanche, that's some really challenging terrain. Yeah. And that maybe doesn't have as many trees, but just note that zone is incredible. And then where we spent most of our time, and I'm having a hard find it here on the map, is, and I'll say this wrong too, so Roc de Mounier, or Roc Mounier, and this is over on the Courchevel side, and Aiguille du Fruit.
Aiguille du Fruit, yeah.
Aiguille du Fruit.
Aiguille du Fruit, yeah.
This zone is incredible. There's so much good tree skiing. We spent a whole day just on Roc Mounier. And then Aiguille du Fruit is incredible. And then Lowe's is a little more steep and avalanche prone, so sometimes they won't get that open until maybe the next day, which is kind of perfect because then you get another day. And I know there's more, but that's just what we found. And that was enough to satisfy us, I think, on 1, 2, 3, 4 storm days. That was really, really cool. And then there was one other, butcher this one, but I think this means red berry. Mur Rouge.
Mur Rouge, yeah, exactly.
Mur Rouge. So that's another one, and that's more in Meribel. And that's a tiny little lift, but it's got trees. It's really like British Columbia pillar skiing in there. That blew my mind because that's just not supposed to exist in France. And so that was one other little great spot. And so that's a quick tangent for people looking for a good tree skiing on a storm day. And then we'll come back to so that's more about Meribel, and then Roc Mounier and Aiguille du Fruit was actually Courchevel.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Val Thorens. So Val Thorens is the third valley, let's just say. So what's it like and what's it known for?
I'm going to be careful because I'm a bit partial to Val Thorens because, as I said, that's where I sort of learned skiing. Nice. So Val Thorens, elevated skiing basically because it's the highest ski town in Europe.
And how high is it?
2,300 meters, sorry.
Okay, so over 6,000 feet.
Yeah, pretty high, but I mean the resort goes up to 3,200 meters itself. Yeah, Val Thorens, so do not expect trees there.
No, it's so high.
This is so high, but I mean, I'm gonna make the link to Orel at the same time, but that's on that ski area. This is so high. The snow is always great. Basically, even you can ski there in April, and it's still extremely good. So, what I like to do when I start my ski day in Val Thorens, I immediately go to Orel. Because
Orel is sort of the fourth valley.
Yeah, it's sort of the fourth valley. Technically, it's the fourth valley, the half of a valley, but it's the same ski area as Val Thorens. And you go there. It's like 2 lifts now to go there from the village, and you're very quiet on the sunny side. That fourth valley is so open. I mean, the view on the Southern Alps is amazing. I mean, just go there once at least if you come to the Valley. You have to do that. But other than that, they are in top of the line alpine skiing. If you want to do backcountry as well, we have the Parc National de la Vanoise, like it's a national park. So of course you cannot do completely stupid things there, but I mean skiing is authorized. And you can just go up the lift. You hike up a little bit. It opens up a whole other range of backcountry skiing.
And it's incredible. I only saw it from a distance, so I don't have an anecdote or experience here because La Trois Vallées was so big. In my 9 days, I only skied Courchevel, and Meribel, and that I didn't even ski all of that. And so I never made it to Val Thorens, so that's for my next year. And I'm really curious about Orel. And again, the backcountry access, it's literally everything is right off of a chairlift. So I did a lot of backcountry skiing when I was there, and I never hiked once. So it's you just wear your regular setup, and so you don't have to, but you do have to be super smart. You have to have all the gear or hire a guide, because it is.
Do you know La Folie Douce? Like, is it something concept is known in the US?
No, what is it?
It's like those party bars. Like there's a nightclub on the slopes, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you say après ski.
Après ski, but it's like on the slope, so you don't even have to ski down, because you actually have to ski after that. So be careful on what you drink. They are dotted a little bit in France. But it's very famous. I mean, a lot of people actually go to Val Thorens so they can go to La Folie Douce at the end of the day. Like, the music and everything starts, I think, around 3. But
yes,
little known fact, there's 2 restaurants there as well. One restaurant called La Fruitière. Price ratio to quality is extremely good. But you also have your self-service. But I mean, it's not a self-service like you have in the US, which is not great, honestly. There, I mean, the food is great for self-service. It's completely different experience. I mean, you said it yourself. The food in France is on another basis. So a lot of people come to Val Thorens for the après ski in general.
I was going to say that too, is that was the last note. Val Thorens is the party spot. So this is where a lot of people from other countries come, and a lot of their focus is on the party, on the après ski, and Val Thorens caters to that. And they have excellent, I didn't go, but I don't drink, so I'm kind of boring. But they have excellent après ski, excellent party. So I read in Powder Magazine 20 years ago that you're in the Alps if you're drunk, dancing in ski boots at 2 a.m. and there's still more skiing to do to get home. That's how you know you are in the Alps. And I think Val Thorens is not an exception from that. They provide that as well. And then you covered Orel. I love that. And so, what I did want to talk about is, when should we come? As North Americans, when should we come to ski in Les Trois Vallées?
I'm going to come to that, but I have to be partial with everyone, and we didn't mention Les Menuires.
Okay, yeah, because there's 7 ski areas, kind of?
Yes, we call 7 villages, like Courchevel, Meribel, Courchevel and the Courchevel Valley, of course. In the Meribel Valley, you have Meribel and Bride-les-Bains. And then in the Belleville Valley, you have Val Thorens, all the way up, then Les Menuires, then Saint-Martin. Mm-hmm. So Les Menuires is like same as Val Thorens, created in the 70s, so more modern design, I would say. But it's good for 2 things. It's catering toward families a lot. Like it's a main target. If you have kids, you're gonna find a lot of things to do for your kids. The way the resort is built makes it you can do absolutely everything by foot. It's extremely convenient. And then in terms of prices, there are a very good price range. Although the way Les Trois Vallées is done, you just go up 1 or 2 lifts and you're immediately in Meribel or immediately in Val Thorens as well. So it's actually a very good spot. In the US, it's a little bit less known, that resort, but I still would recommend it, especially if you come as a family. And then down that, you have that little village called Saint-Martin-Belleville, which is lower. It's a bit like Bride-les-Bains. It's like there's only 1 lift going up, but you can actually ski down there. It's like a sort of mini Meribel, like it's typical French mountain village, little chalet, churches and everything. It's very renowned for the food there. Like they have a strong focus on restaurants and the quality there. You have a Michelin-starred restaurant called La Bouite. It's one of the 10 Michelin-starred restaurants we have in Vallées.
Wow.
Fun fact, 10. Fun fact for you.
That should be on the statistics list. Wow.
Yeah, but we actually put it like that's like a strong angle. I don't know if everyone who comes to France want to do a Michelin-starred restaurants, but if you do, I would recommend it, but book in advance. But we have 10 of those, and that makes us in France. After Paris, we are the second highest concentration of Michelin-starred restaurants.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. So that's for the 2 other villages. And I think your question was, sorry.
Oh, when should we come?
Any time of the year, but I mean, you want the tips, right? I'm going to start with when time you should avoid, but you were in February and it was still okay. But February
when's the busiest time?
Busiest time is February now. Yeah, because it's the French school holidays.
And English.
And I would say in Europe as well. So it is pretty busy, very busy. I mean, we are almost entirely full in terms of beds at the time. Like we can reach 97-98% of filling of the beds of the 140,000. Yeah,
that's
occupancy.
crazy. When's the best month of the year for skiing and riding?
Right now, I would recommend to come in March. But of course, if you're really picky about the snow condition, come in January. But January used to be, quiet time in between Christmas and New Year's and those February holidays. Nowadays, it got really popular as well because, you have basically the right conditions. The snow is excellent. It's still cold for us in France. So, yeah, that's a very good time to come for snow. But I mean, in March, you basically get everything. The snow is still good. The weather gets more sunny, of course, as well. And the prices, since there's less people, the prices are better. So this is my top recommendation now. Come in March. But you can actually ski until mid-April, even in Les Vallées, until early May in Val Thorens. I mean, if you like the kind of person who like to ski in the morning and then enjoy the rest of the mountain in the afternoon, take it a bit more easy. April is great as well. And as a skier myself, even I actually don't mind if the snow gets a bit mushier in April in the afternoon. I just take different kind of skis. I actually take my off-piste skis because I find them extremely comfortable on mushy snow.
I mean, the truth is, slush is only second to powder. I love slushy skiing, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come in March next year because I really loved February, but it was a little bit busy. So I'd like to come see it when it's a little less busy. So I'm going to come. Too. I might come for the whole month of March. So we'll be in touch.
Lucky you.
I'm very grateful. So let's talk about the Epic Pass real quick. So, and this is a little bit more the American angle. So if I'm not mistaken, the Epic Full Pass gets you 7 days at Les Vallées, which is a lot. Most people get 1 or 2 weeks off that they can come to go on a trip like this. So I think that's pretty special. So they just have to go to the ticket office, show their Epic Pass, and then they'll give you the day tickets that you need, however many that you want.
Exactly.
And do you have any other information here?
No, we try to make it as easy as possible with Vail. Yeah, basically, you need a full Epic season pass. Not the local pass. Even if you have a discount, like you have a veteran pass, that doesn't work as well. So you need the full Epic season pass, and then you just need to go to the desk and ask for your 7 day pass, basically.
So cool. And will they give you a 7-day pass so you don't have to come back?
We actually always give a 7-day pass.
Oh wow!
Even if you're gonna do only 3 or 4, we always give you 7 immediately.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, because basically you lose the permission if you only take 1 day. So we give you 7 days immediately.
Perfect.
Just don't forget to have your Epic Pass with you or your Epic app where you have your pass inside. That works as well.
That's what I have. Okay.
Might need your ID, I'm not sure. Yeah, all the information are on our website as well, on the Well website. So if you have any questions, you're going to find the answer there. It's pretty clear. Awesome. Honestly, that's extremely easy. So.
That's great because I have the Epic app and have a pass this year because it works here in Park City. So that's great. I would just do that. Do you know what percentage of your guests might be from North America? And is that number growing?
That's a big question right now. It's hard to get exact figures in France because we are not tracking exactly the nationality because what we try to do in France is to make the selling process quick. So we are not requesting information from customers where they come from instead when they buy the ski pass. So we use other kind of sources of data. And I think when I looked last time, previous season, I think in some of the resorts, it was up to 10% of American customers last year.
Wow, that's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, no, we in the last 2 years, and I'm not counting this one because I didn't check the figures yet. The number of American skiers doubled in Les Vallées.
That's really what I thought. Doubled. Americans are finally discovering Europe for skiing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the Epic Pass is helping. Last year, I think we got roughly 6,000 people who use the Epic Pass promotion. Wow. So that's good enough. But I mean, 6,000 doesn't seems much. When I told you that in some part of the ski area, we have 10% people. So a lot of people are just discovering skiing in France and in Europe in general and how good it is. I mean, when I see the prices in the US, I'm like, okay, well, just look at the pricing in France, and the math is easily done.
Let's do that math, because I know the reasons to come and ski in France for me, I think number one is the culture. Number two is the language. I love the French language and just hearing it and trying to speak it. And that's part of the culture. And then the food is out of this world. The ski resorts are so big and impressive and have such terrific terrain. They have good snow. It's high alpine, a lot of it. And also there's good tree skiing. And the infrastructure, again, I can't get over the infrastructure. I mean, you're riding funiculars and trams and gondolas and high-speed six-packs. It's just nothing like we have in the U.S. It makes our ski resorts look pretty small and old. And so everything's very modern and crisp, and the restaurants and all of it. But even with all those, I would say, advances over what a lot of what we have in North America, it's still cheaper. So talk to us about the pricing. How is it cheaper? Why is it cheaper? What is cheaper?
So basically, it's cheaper because it depends how much you ski. The business model is entirely different in France. In France,
tell me, what is the business model?
In France, the main target, at least in Les Vallées, we are targeting people who come to ski for 6 days. Okay. And that's it. I mean, now with how it's done in the US, with those super passes, they are trying to sell seasons, basically. Right. We don't do that much in France. It's starting to happen in Switzerland, for instance. But we don't do that. The price of a ski pass in Les Vallées for 1 day, but basically you just have to multiply. There's no real discount the more you ski, but I'm going to come to that. Is 82 euros per day. So that's like, right now, I think it's probably $95, I guess. I mean, compare that to that's probably the price for a day in a very tiny resort in the US.
Oh yeah, it's like $250 for a day now. It's crazy.
So that's already half the price, right? So that's already a huge difference. Quick note, like in Les Vallées, if you buy 5 days, the 6th one is free, basically. So,
oh wow, that's cool.
Exactly. So that's the first price difference. Then you're gonna have the plane. I mean, the plane ticket, if you are on the East Coast, going to France or going into the Rockies, probably the same cost, maybe a little bit more expensive in France, but I'm not even sure, honestly. Same. And then you have the accommodation. I think we are cheaper overall. Of course, you can find very expensive things in France as well. I mean, if you want to pay 100,000 or even more for a chalet with catering and everything, we do have that in Courchevel or even in Meribel. But if you want something more affordable, you can. And I checked, we found in February, so the busiest time of the year, we found a tiny apartment for two in Les Menuires for 400 euros for a week.
Whoa, that's insane.
That's insane, right? Of course,
it should be 400 euros a night. Wow.
Do not expect the top of the line apartment. I mean, that's something very modest. But I mean, if you are on a budget and you're just there for skiing, you can do that, and it's going to be cheap. Right? Wide range of prices. The food is going to be cheaper. I mean, last time I was in the US, I was like, wow, why am I paying so much just for a main course in restaurant? And what's left? And then, the ski instructors, right? I mentioned it earlier, but this is so much cheaper in the US. I mean, you're coming as a family, your parents, okay, skiing with your kids is nice, but you know what? Put them at the ski school and you can go ski with your partner. And then you're just going to drop them in the morning next to the lift. And then you go take the lift yourself and you pick them at the end of the day. I think it's going to be at least half the price of the same thing in the US. So, I mean, you said it yourself. I mean, the reason to go to France is probably the experience and try something different. But if you add the price consideration in top of that, there's basically no reason not to do it.
A big part of what I'm trying to do on this podcast is get North Americans to go ski the Alps, because I've spent 1 month in the Alps each of the last 2 years and just had my mind completely blown. So all these things that we've talked about, we're saying over and over, but the culture, it's cheaper, the infrastructure, the mountains though is the main thing. The mountains are just so huge, and there are lifts everywhere. You look across the valley, there's another ski resort, another ski resort, another ski resort. There's something like 3,000 ski resorts. Some people say 3,800 ski resorts in Europe. And so it's not like anything we've had or seen coming from the US.
This is something I have in my office.
Oh, what is this?
This is a map of all the ski resorts in the Alps.
And how many does it say are on there?
I don't know if all of them are here, but on the list I have 266.
Wow, that's insane, man. It's and those are probably just the ones that they can fit on the map.
Yeah,
because I have a map. I think it's called, gosh, what is it called? It's called Ski Maps. Oh, skimap.org. So if you go to skimap.org and you click on Europe, it's just ridiculous. It's just this big, beautiful map, and it's like a Google Maps, and you can just zoom in on all the maps all the ski trails, and it's unbelievable because it's just one after another, and it just has no end. But before I get carried away, I did want to mention, or hear you mention, tell us the history of Les Trois Vallées. I mostly just want to know, how the hell did this happen?
You have to actually go way back if you do that. But
good, let's go way back.
Let's do it for fun. The history of skiing in France is pretty old, probably not as old as Norway, but pretty old nonetheless. The first resort, actually in Les Trois Vallées, was Meribel. First lift is 1938. Yeah, so it's in France, that's what we call first generation ski resort, like ski resort which were actual villages, and then the resort grew around it. Then war happened, reconstruction, but still, before the war, I was like, okay, the economy is changing, it's getting more industrial. The mountains, the only activity was basically agriculture and husbandry. The French government at that time, in the 40s, was trying to find a way to bring in new economical activities in those areas, and skiing was identified as a potential. So a few resorts were picked to be experiences, to try to bring the ski activities there around a small existing village or something. So the second resort was Courchevel, officially in 1945, so just after the war, the end of the Second World War. And there was other resort, I don't know how many of them, probably 6 or 7 in France. And since that works extremely well, so these were the second generation of ski resort, the French government in the 60s decided to subsidize heavily this new industry. Let's call it like that. So this was called the Plan Montagne, the mountain plan, and the government put a lot of money in building all this ski resort, but cleverly. So the idea was to have people could park just under the building where they were going to stay, and then they would get out of the building immediately on the piste and start skiing. That's already from the 70s. The skiing and ski out idea was there, and that's why we have so much of ski out accommodation in France, because of that. Les Menuires was built in 1967, and then it was Val Thorens in 1971, which is when Les Trois Vallées name started to appear. The structure I'm part of was created in 1971 or in 1972.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Were these separate ski resorts that joined, or was the plan always to be one?
No, it's ski resorts that joined, actually. They naturally joined, because that's true that it was already identified that there was something very specific about those 3 valleys which were naturally aligned next to each other in a place which was favorable for snow. I don't think it was the plan to make that huge ski area, but it was bound to happen, because if you go up the mountain in between the 2 resorts, which makes sense in terms of lift, then they would be naturally joined together. But it was never one big ski area operated by only one company. It just happened organically in each valley.
So cool, man. I love that. And so I love the history of hearing that in 1971, that's when they connected it all together. So to us in America, 1971 sounds like a long time ago. So, you're thinking about 55 years ago.
It is a long time ago.
So this has been a massive ski resort. So it's funny that even me at 48 years old, I'm just discovering for the first time Les Trois Vallées, but it's been sitting there since before I was born. So I feel a little bit ignorant. And so I'm really excited to shed light on this. And I think here at the end of the podcast, I do want to reiterate, I think if you're from North America, you got to come out and check out skiing in France. I personally spent 9 days skiing Les Trois Vallées, highly recommended. And I think that's the move is most people come, they do Saturday to Saturday as the normal package. You come for a week. If you have an Epic Pass, bring that. You're going to get 7 free ski days, which is nuts. And so then you really just have lodging, your flight, and no matter where you are in the world, you have to eat food, it turns out, Olivier. So people always think, oh, well, how much is food going to be? I was like, you got to eat food. Even if you're home, you're eating food. And so if you want to go to the grocery store, you can do that in France. And if you want to, and if you'd rather eat out all the time, you can do that. You can do a mix. I just hit the grocery store down in Albertville or down in Brie-des-Bonnes or somewhere down lower where it's cheaper. Yeah. And then I just bring the food up and you're set for the week. So I highly recommend come out, hit Les Trois Vallées or wherever you want to go for a week. And enjoy the culture, enjoy the infrastructure, enjoy the language, and enjoy mountains that make our mountains look like foothills. It is unbelievable, the size and the scale. Even from Les Trois Vallées, he said you can see Mont Blanc over in France and Italy, and that's almost 16,000 feet. I think the elevations in Les Trois Vallées go up to almost 11,000 feet, and it's a little bit, it's a little higher latitude than a lot of us ski at, and so it's just the glaciers, the scenery, it's just on another level. It's so much bigger and more badass than what we have here. It's just, you got to do it once, and probably you won't just do it once because, like me, you'll go once and realize, wow, this is where it's at. And so it is the next level. So yeah, here I want to say thank you so much, Olivier, for your time and your positivity and your laughter and I think I would say Olivier is a great representative of what the French people are like when I go skiing. They're just super friendly and fun. They really lean into the lifestyle of enjoying the mountains. It's more a part of their culture than we have here in North America. So is there anything else that you want to share here at the end of the show?
I'm trying to find tips that I didn't already mention. I would say something though. You said better, but as a French person, I would love to go ski more in the US or more in Japan. So I would say different, True. It's very different from what you experience. Yep. Mm-hmm. On the ski probably a little bit better just because of everything we mentioned, but still there's always this appeal when you're a skier and you love skiing to go ski somewhere else and ski something different. So Europe and France is the place to do that for you guys. But it's skiing and we all love skiing. Probably the people who watch this do that as well. So it's always just fun to discover someplace different and a different culture. So yeah.
I thoroughly agree with what you're saying, and my perspective is biased, obviously, and I love the humbleness of your statement. But yeah, I think folks know that I travel quite a bit. I've gotten to ski a lot of places around the world, and I'm a little bit of a snob. I won't just go ski anywhere, honestly. I'm not just going to go ski anywhere. I'm a little bit of a snob. I guess I have high standards, and France and Les Trois Vallées meets all of them.
You're not a snob.
It exceeds them.
You're not a snob. I think the more you ski and probably I would say all that I say, the more experience you grew, I think you become actually picky, right? I remember when I'm not from the French Alps. I'm from a town near the sea which is called Le Havre, and I moved 15 years ago now to the French Alps for the love of skiing. Mm-hmm. And when I arrived there, I would ski every weekend, every day of the weekend. I would even go ski in summer because you can actually still do that. I was skiing every day, even if the weather was bad. No, I'm 43 almost. I have 2 kids, so yeah, I'm getting picky. But I think that's sort of natural. But we have so much choice that we actually can be picky, right? So many great places to ski.
It's incredible. I think we've stated all the obvious advantages of this experience, and so we hope that you get out there and check it out. And if you do, get back to us, write us, send us an email, let us know what your experience was like and what you brought home and what you walked away with. I walked away with a lot, and I'm really excited to go back, probably a month every year, and then I plan on doing a season in the Alps, probably in the Tarentaise Valley where Les Trois Vallées is in the next couple of years. So I'm ready to make the switch. I'm ready to learn French and the whole 9 yards. So Olivier, thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you to France. I really enjoyed my time there. So thank you, and I really appreciate your time and energy today.
Thank you, Miles. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And I hope to see you in Les Vallées. Any of you guys, feel free to contact us. I mean, the website is directly connected to the team here. So if you have questions, we're here to help you. If you want to book, we're here to help you as well. So we are here to make your life easier. And that's what we try to do every day at our job is, of course, promote the ski area, but make the life of our customers easier. That's really important to us. Probably a bit French, but that's how we are.
I love it. The hospitality is aggressive. They are very, very friendly. It's very fun. So thank you again, Olivier.
Thank you, Miles.
Thank you so much for listening to the SnowBrains podcast. If you liked this podcast, please share with friends and family, and please be sure to subscribe. To find out more about SnowBrains, please visit us at snowbrains.com. You can also find us on Instagram, X, Facebook, and more. This episode of the SnowBrains podcast was edited by Liam Abbott, and I'm your host, Miles Clark.